Hi everyone. Well, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the new king in the United Kingdom at the moment, because I was reading the paper. I've been in London and there was this article about the new coins, and the article said that on the new coins the new king will be facing left, whereas the Queen was always facing right. And this is a tradition in England. Here you can see the Queen facing right. And the tradition in the United Kingdom is that as the monarch changes, the direction changes. So you have one facing left, one facing right, one facing left. And I found that rather interesting because I think when someone faces right, as the Queen did, one is looking to the future, because we read from left to right. And if one is facing left, as King Charles is, one is actually facing the past, for better or for worse. So I thought, well, why don't I just pop down some tarot cards and see what I can pick up about our new monarch. And this is what I got. This is a 3-card reading on the basic feeling of Charles's reign. Okay, so let's look at the most positive card. Knight of Pentacles. Charles is a traditionalist in the best sense. He's into the environment, he's into conservation, he's into organic farming. He helped to save the French cheeses, I believe, because a lot of very good French cheeses are made with unpasteurized milk, and now we have this insane insistence on everything being clean, clean, clean. Everyone's obsessed with germs, which is not necessarily such a good idea. And they tried to ban the French cheeses, didn't they, some of them? And I believe Charles helped. So he can be a very helpful person. He does very much care about the world. So that's, in a sense, the most positive spin, I think, that I can put on Charles. I still think of him as Prince Charles. The Knight of Pentacles, actually my favourite court card, very reliable, just interested in being there for other people, keeping the system going. That's what the Knight of Pentacles does. He accepts the system that he has inherited and he keeps it going, and he is there for people. He's very helpful. He's not necessarily in it for himself. He's not necessarily in it for his own excitement or for his own ego or his battles or his riches or his money or anything like that. He really is someone who looks after other people. And I think that is the nicest spin you can put on Charles. I also see we have a 5 of batons here, struggle. It's not the most obvious thing to have a monarchy in the modern world. I've talked about it. I've written about it in one of my books. I actually quite like monarchy because I see it as a form of pop theatre, and I'm into theatre. But clearly there are, there are cultural ramifications, aren't there? And I also I think there is a central problem about Charles's reign, which I don't think there was with Elizabeth's reign. I think Elizabeth was, in a sense, one of the best monarchs Britain has ever had. She was absolutely free of ego, and she was absolutely perfect and graceful at every moment. I mean, she's an archetype to me. She's a sort of mother figure, so I'm very pro-Elizabeth. Take her away, and what have you got? Well, we've got a reversed 2 of batons here. And the 2 of batons is a kind of kingship situation. It's someone in that position of power and having things under control and being on top of a situation. And that's reversed. I don't think Charles will be entirely on top of this kingship situation in the way that his mother was. I think she was an absolute natural. I think there's an indication there of him not actually holding this power, you could say, in a terribly successful way. I don't know if you're British and you're listening to this. If you're not British, I should explain that the British monarch actually has no political power. But in terms of this theatre performance, which is the British monarchy, it's very important. It has an emotional function for the British. It's a stabilising sort of ritualistic family drama that is played out and helps the British to feel calm and united. And so in that respect, as an actor on a stage, Charles does have a lot of power. He has the power to, give titles and so forth, and decree that Camilla will be his queen consort, things like that. And I see problems. And I did another reading, which was the relationship between Charles and the country and his subjects. I mean, clearly, this includes the Canadians, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen, and the Australians and the people in New Zealand. Prince or King Charles's subjects. And I think in a way this is even clearer, and at least two of the cards are, and not particularly positive. That is Charles, that's the subjects, and that's the relationship. So the first thing we notice is that the subjects are in Five of Pentacles. People are poor at the moment. Maybe not poor in the way that people used to be in the old days, or maybe, people in Britain aren't poor in the way that some people in Africa are poor, but people have problems, and things aren't necessarily getting better for the majority of people in the world. We have the rich and we have everyone else, and those are the people who Charles is actually king to. And what do we have him doing here? Well, his back is turned. I think Charles is a sort of romantic, intense person. He's a Scorpio. And I think he's got, he is involved in his personal journeys, his own personal quests. The very, very ancient meaning of the Eight of Cups is wandering restlessly from place to place. And I think there is an element of that deep in Charles's character. He doesn't have this simplicity that his mother had. With her, you felt that it was enough. It was enough to get up in the morning and have breakfast and bet on the horses and then turn up and be queen. You get the feeling with Charles that actually nothing's ever quite enough. And the relationship between the two, well, Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is fine in some ways. She's intelligent, she's efficient, she's a formidable enemy. She can definitely look after herself. She has suffered, as I believe Charles has suffered, and she has survived as he has survived. But frankly, she's not loved. She's actually feared, the Queen of Swords. She's really she's in a sense the most famous court card of the 16. And in the normal pack of playing cards, she's the Queen of Spades, and that's Sweaty Betty, and that's the one really bad luck card in the whole pack. And in the tarot, she does retain some of that unfortunate meaning. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are my feelings about the reign of our future king. Enjoy the soap opera, as indeed I do, and let's all hope it's not going to be quite as frightful as I have predicted. Cheers, bye.